What's up, you guys? It is Simone, aka Money Mo here, and we are live. Y'all think this is
back.
Good? We are live.
One of them. Super
What?
live.
We are live, man. This is the second live, and right now I'm kind of feeling like a little bit of Kenny Smith mixed with a little Ryan Clark. I'm gonna have to call and talk to my team. I need my little clipboard. I need my little pointer. You know what I'm saying, like Ryan Clark. Cause what I got on this iPad right now, I was in that type of bag. All right, but right now we are in the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs, and crazy. These games today were crazy. Okay, so the Sun took an L on their home floor to the Liberty. Liberty are up 2-1, and our Aces got the sweep. I had the Aces in 4, but they said, "Oh, Simone, what? Got it in 4?" Oh no, they said, "Oh yeah, we're sweeping." So
it's the Aces. You know how it is.
Oh my God,
you know how it gets. You know how sticky it gets.
Y'all hear Flicks in the back. You know he run the Las Vegas Aces stand account. You know
I'm running
what I'm
it, man.
Like, okay. Anyways, let's get into these stats, okay? Let me get in my Kenny Smith, Ryan Clark type of bag, all right?
Let's get to that.
Okay, so the Sun versus Liberty game was one for the books. It was crazy. It was a crazy game. The Sun. Here's the reason why the Sun took that L, right? They had 5 turnovers in the first quarter. And on top of those 5 turnovers in the first quarter, the New York Liberty scored 37 points, all right? So Breanna Stewart had 12 of those 37, and Ionescu had 11, all right?
Eden.
And then Connecticut only had 16 points.
I mean, that's what we do. You know what I mean? But I mean that's what I mean by that is like the 2 top teams, Liberty and the Aces, like they get rid of the other teams like pretty fast, and they seen this kind of like in the season a little bit. And now I'm seeing like we seeing the separation now. We seeing the difference in skill. The Liberty is just like that.
It's not necessarily skill. Like, don't get me wrong, the Liberty is good. I'm not knocking them. I am not knocking them. It was just a little incidents that could happen in the regular season are affecting them now in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. So it was like for a moment where Alyssa Thomas was literally carrying this team on her back, and she needed help. Mm-hmm. She needed help, and then DeWanna Bonner didn't start really shooting until like 3 minutes left in the second quarter, and they're like the top 2 scorers on the team, so that kind of hurts you too,
That hurts a lot.
Yeah, but Alyssa Thomas went off. I think she had a triple-double, if I'm
Another
not
one. No, she's been eating this year.
What?
Did she get any end of the year awards?
Yeah, she made the first team all defense.
Okay. That's good.
And yeah.
But no awards though, but she made it
that's an award
top team though, but yeah.
First team all defense. And like the one thing I liked was the matchup between Alyssa Thomas and Breanna Stewart, okay? And I know a lot of you guys are looking at the height. Okay, Breanna Stewart towers over her, but Alyssa Thomas is super physical on defense. And as you guys seen, for those that watched the game, there were moments where Alyssa Thomas was a part of that defending the screen. Actually, when Breanna Stewart was setting the screen, and she would body up with Breanna Stewart, and it gave that guard space to either go under or go through. She's really strong, and she could body up. And then she was giving Breanna Stewart a hard time after that first quarter, really. And you got to think, players like Breanna Stewart, like your top players, they're going to get shots. The job on defense, the goal on defense is to make them work for every point. And I feel like once Alyssa Thomas got in that groove, she made Breanna Stewart work for every point. Made her work for every point. Because there was moments where, like, she would body up, and, any other small person, Breanna Stewart would be able to get that little work off, but it was like, Alyssa Thomas ain't going for that. She a wall.
So do you think she's a Stewie stopper?
She's not necessarily a Stewie stopper, but she could play. She plays the scout report well, right? I feel like a lot of the bigger guards don't like to be touched. They don't like to be bumped. And she'll do the bump, and she'll be physical, and she knows how to defend that screen well. Like, I know it's been a couple episodes before where I talked about how, like, Breanna Stewart would be nice playing that screen and roll with her as the screener. Mm-hmm. Alyssa Thomas was like the cheat code. She kind of knows how to defend with that because she talks on defense. She knows when to hedge out. She knows when to body up on Breanna Stewart, and it worked. I just felt like Connecticut needs to be consistent all 4 quarters. It's just not one of those things where you let them score and they get up and you're like, okay, let me play. Because that's what kind of happened today. It's like, okay, let me play. But after the first quarter, Breanna Stewart had 12 points. Sabrina Ionescu had 11. And then it was like minor mistakes. So like I seen in in the game where Sabrina had too many wide open threes. Ain't no way a good shooter like that should be able to look at the basket for 3 seconds and able to shoot. Like in transition.
It's that bad? So they was letting her shoot.
Yeah, it was just transition. It was a couple of transition possessions where they weren't their assignment wasn't to find her. Like one person has to stop the ball, and once that person sees, okay, the ball stopped, let me find the shooters. Because they're the type of team where they could just go on the secondary break, which is a semi-fast break, look for the shooter, pass, and it's a shot, and they're getting out the net.
That's they looking for the pull up.
Yeah, a catch and shoot. Yeah, they're for sure looking for a catch and shoot. But I think it was little mistakes like that. But it was one thing that the Liberty did well too. They were really aggressive on the boards, right? They were attacking the O boards, and the reason why they won this game too because they had second and third opportunities. Jonquel Jones was eating on the boards. Breanna Stewart was getting it, and they missed. Connecticut really needs Breanna Jones out there, but she's hurt, right? They don't have that inside presence. Don't get me wrong. Olivia Nelson-Adobu did good. She did good, but she's not as experienced. And the size is different. Like, I'd rather have a Breanna Jones that's a stocky that could body up with a Jonquel Jones and have Nelson out or even subbing in that rotation. But the 5 that I liked when they were in there was Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, Ty Harris, Olivia Nelson-Ododa, and Tiffany Hayes. I liked that 5. I really liked that 5. I feel like I needed to see that 5 more, and DeWanna Bonner needs to get off quicker. So I think that's some of the things they need to work on when that next matchup happens. They need to start off aggressive from the jump, and DeWanna Bonner needs to go off. She cannot wait. She has to be aggressive. Alyssa Thomas needs help. Like, Alyssa Thomas was the only really consistent player out that game, in my opinion, for Connecticut.
That's tough. I mean, you're not going to win a series like that. So this is win or go home for them now. So next game, points-wise, how many points does DeWanna Bonner have to score to win this game?
I think she needs to score about, let's see, to be realistic, she needs to score about, she needs to honestly score minimum of 15.
15?
Minimum.
That got to be low end, right?
That's minimum. 15 points minimum. That's like 6 shots. That's a minimum. You need to score a minimum of 15. But I feel like she has the ability to score 15, but she could be stellar on the boards, get a couple steals. You know what I'm saying? So it's so much about this Connecticut team that I like. Like, it's not like their star players need to be point heavy. They do a little bit of everything. Alyssa Thomas could get you one night shoot. She could probably get you 5 steals, 12 points, 12 assists, 15 rebounds. Like, they have players like that could do a little bit of everything. So that's why in the last slide where I was talking about, like, it's a new season for them, like, everybody needs to do something for them to win. It's not just, oh, this person needs to have 15 or for them to win. No, everybody has to do a little bit of something and bring it to the table. I don't think they have that luxury to think like that, especially when one of your better rebounders is out. Breanna Jones is out. So you got to play smart defense too. Like, it's not like one of those things where you play defense and you can let them go by and you have someone in there to alter the shot. So they just have to be a little more intense on the defense, like trap hard, get those steals, no crazy fouls. And that was one thing I noticed too, like the ref in the refs in the Sun and Liberty game in the first quarter, they was calling everything. It was a little too like, you know, if you put your finger on them, it's a foul type of thing. But as the game went on, they got, you know, they let them play a little bit. So I think that kind of messes up the game too, because as a defender, I don't know if I can either play aggressive on you or not, because I'm gonna be hesitant because I'm like, I don't want the ref to call it foul. But at the same time, it's also kind of like one of those things, you don't want the refs to deter how you play.
Right, and change your whole game, really.
Yeah, and a lot of that could play a part of it too. But you know, I think the Sun are gonna bounce back. They're gonna take the next game. I think they're gonna win the Sunday.
That's pretty bold. I think they're over with. I think they're cooked.
What?
Hey, I think Stewie, I think Sabrina, I think they smell blood in the water, and I think it's over. They looking at the Aces. They mad the Aces got done with their matchup so quick. So they like, let's show them real quick.
But I have a feeling the Sun are gonna come out and go crazy. Tiffany Hayes, DeWanna Bonner, they're gonna have big games.
The Sun is a better team than the Wings. I'll say that. The Wings is more chemistry wise on the younger side compared to the Sun. So like. Yeah. Even saying like, okay, maybe Liberty might look at it like that. They're playing a much more difficult opponent than the Wings. I think the Wings were a little more, you know, only two-dimensional. You got Arika and you got my girl Satu. But if you stop one or the other, you got to win. But with the Sun, though, like you're saying, they don't have a major scorer on the team. 15 points might get you a win if you DeWanna Bonner. So, to me, their team is a little more complete, and it's a tougher team to beat anyway.
Well, they've been together for a long time. Like, their core has been together for a couple seasons. So they have an advantage with that. I think the only real change that they had was that at the head coaching position, really. Like, they had the same players for a very long time. Yeah. So think about it. That team's been together for a couple seasons like that core. Right. So they have the experience, but it just hurts when your center, your best rebounder, that cleanup center, that one that changes the game for you guys is out.
Right. That's tough.
Yeah, and I think they're playing through that all while trying to win and play their game, you know? So that's kind of hard, especially when one of your better defenders are on the bench. That hurts.
It's tough. It's a tough situation to be in, but, you know, it's also the playoffs. You know, everybody's dealing with everything, so.
Oh, this is true.
It's about how you deal with it.
Yeah, so, like I said, I think the Sun are going to bounce back and win the game on Sunday.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Let's get on to some winners, though. The Aces.
Not get on to some winners.
The Aces are headed to the championship, right?
Yeah, they're headed to the finals.
Let's go.
I wish we could play some tags.
Let's go. Brown. Low budget tags. We got great value tags tonight,
no, we don't lie though, so it's nothing low budget. We got high quality.
That's very true. We're in HD.
You guys are getting this off the top. It's no one take, two takes. You getting this live, okay?
This is it.
Man.
So the Aces, I mean, you when we were talking about the game, she kept telling me about what the Wings didn't do, not about what the Aces did. So what did the Aces do to make it to the finals?
What they did, they had 17 turnovers tonight.
Oh wow, this is the straight shade.
Oh no, because you see the shade you threw to me? I'm just throwing it right back. But not all jokes aside, this just shows that the Aces are really good, because if it was any other team and they had 17 turnovers in a game, they're losing. If it was any other team.
That's true.
Just think about it. I want you guys to think about the numbers. Let's do 17 times 2. 17 times 2 is 34. Think about it. Imagine if every turnover led to a layup. That's 34 possible points you're giving a team.
Right.
34 possible points. Like, there's no way you can win a game and have 17 turnovers. But they...
You're not supposed to.
Right. And one thing about the Aces, they found a way to win. And before we get into it, I just want to give a shout out to the Dallas Wings. You guys played hard tonight. Y'all really did. Like, the bench stepped up. Arika Gumawale was hooping. Natasha Howard was hooping.
That helps.
And the center, Tierra McCallum, hooping. She had like 10 points.
They wasn't trying to go home.
15 rebounds, and she had a block. She went, understood the assignment. It's just... The Aces are number one and been number one for a reason. Like, they found a way to win, okay?
All right.
So, in the first half, Arika Gumawale, she had 12 points. She was 5 for 10 for field goal. 5 for 10 for field goals in the first half. And the Aces were running a 1-2-2 that game. They were running a 1-2-2.
Oh, for Rika?
No, the Aces on defense were running a 1-2-2. And I feel like they were running the 1-2-2 because the Aces actually were kind of pretty small compared to the Wings because Tierra McCowan is 6'7". 6'7". So when they were running the horn set, the horn set is when it's that. So it's horns, right? Imagine this. So we have a point guard up here, the 2 screeners, and 2 people in the corner. That's why it's called horns. Ooh, that's a little lesson for y'all. I wish I had my tag. I wish I had my tag because I just gave y'all a lesson. I just gave y'all a lesson right there, okay? So they were running the horn set, and as soon as they were, that point guard was running off those screens, you would have Tierra McCowan pinned down, and you had one, I believe it was Natasha Howard popping up, and they were getting the pin downs, and I noticed that both teams were missing a lot of shots. They were missing a lot of chipper shots, too, and that kind of changed the flow of the game, and free throws. I felt like the free throws also killed the Wings, too. They missed a lot of free throws, and I know, throughout the season, they weren't the best free throw shooting team, but when it comes to the postseason, everything matters, and a lot of times these teams are good, really good, and the only difference could be like a game or even a 5 or 6 game margin. So you have to be perfect as far as if you get an opportunity to get 3 points, which is the free throws, you have to make your free throws. You have to make your free throws, and you have to get stops on defense. That's how you win. That's how you win games. And I think that's why the Aces are good at what they do because they lock down on defense. They're efficient on offense and defense, and they've been like that the whole season. But for Dallas, Satu kind of had a cold night, and I just want to say she tried her best. I seen players like her shoot in the first half. And I don't know how many shots she missed in the first half exactly. But after missing 5 or 6 shots, they stopped shooting. She didn't do that. She was still trying to be aggressive and still trying to help her team get in the game because she knows that Aces scout, the scouting report, that she's on there. So in order for her team to do great and to win, she has to still play her game. And I feel like that should be a lesson to any player that's watching this. Just because you having a cold night, that don't mean you stop playing because there's offense, there's defense. There's so many things you can do to help your team win the game. And shout out to the Dallas Wings bench. You guys stepped it up. Yes, Satu I believe she was 2 for 16. She only had 5 points.
Tough.
Yeah, that hurts.
That's going to send you home every time.
That's gonna hurt you just because Arika was hooping. Natasha Howard hooping. Tough. The bench came in when they came in and got their minutes. They were filling the gap, but Satu is very valuable to that team to where she had to score, and I wish there were ways where they could have got her going a little more. The horn set was working at one point, but it was some moments where it got a little stagnant to where it was too wide of a 5-out, especially in a 1-2-2, because when a team runs a zone, a 1-2-2 at that, you have to attack it. You have to make them double. You got to kick it out, crash the boards. And I feel like there was possessions where they were doing that, but then they kind of got away from it, and the Aces took advantage of it. And there was one point in the game where the Aces had 11-0 run, and Dallas missed. I think they missed 8 shots in a row. Sheesh. On that 11-0 run. So that was the game changer because for a majority of the game, it was going back and forth. If Dallas was up for a little bit, and then the Aces was playing catch up. And then, that run happened. Because what did I say in the first line? Basketball is a game of what? It's a game of runs. And it doesn't matter where the run comes, but that run, when you're on it, you have to take advantage of it, and you have to score as many times as you can and stop them. And the Aces did that. And that's why they won the game. But it just sucks. It just sucks to see because Dallas really played their asses off. kudos to Dallas Wings. You guys played your asses off. The coach made some moves that it was like, okay, like I gotta do it. And the bench stepped up. And it's hope for this franchise. It's hope for this franchise. The fact that this was their first year making the playoffs too.
Right.
I'm excited to see what they bring next year. I feel like they just need like probably 1 or 2 draft picks. I feel like I would just take this team and grow. Like I wouldn't even add nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't
just
even
keep the same score.
Yep. I would just add on and rebuild.
I want to say Natasha Howard might be a free agent at the end of this year.
They got to bring her back.
And I think Tierra McCowan is
back.
also a free agent after this year.
They need to bring them back.
I think everybody else is pretty much signed up.
They got to bring them back. That's going to hurt them losing Natasha Howard. That's going to hurt them because she did good. And it was like, I feel like it wasn't noticed as much just because the bench stepped up and Tierra McCowan did what she was supposed to. But I feel like majority of the season, people was kind of sleep on Natasha Howard in some of the games just because of the matchup standpoint. But in that game, there were plenty of mismatches that I seen, and there was like points where like Satu was being guarded by Chelsea Gray.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they didn't take advantage of those matchups, but that's why I think about it. That's why they went in that zone.
Right.
Because it's so many matchups on both sides, mismatches on both sides, to where like one side could take advantage of this one and the other side could do that. But
yeah, especially with the 2 playing like the 4 and the 3.
Yeah,
it gets kind of tricky for the aces that like to play small ball, put their guards at the 3.
Yeah, yeah, and like when a zone when a team runs a zone, especially a 1-2-2, you have to attack it. And
that's a compact zone.
But you have to attack, right?
Like
you have to attack it, and you have to make them do what? Close. But Arika Ogunwale was in the corner. She didn't have the ball for the Hornets.
Yeah.
She's in the corner, so I would attack, drive, and kick, and have her get
pull
her
up.
high. Yeah. Catch and shoot the
That's
3.
Tough. That's tough.
So.
I mean, well, even looking at that, though, you could kind of say looking ahead, you're going to face Breanna Stewart, who's playing the 3 sometimes, and the 4, kind of similar to the 2. So you think the Aces will pull out the 1-2-2 against the Liberty also, or do you think they got the shooters to get them out of that?
The Aces and the Liberty, I don't want to talk about that right now. The Liberty got to win. The Liberty got to win.
Well, I was saying, for instance, like a similar matchup, right? Like,
yeah. So, like.
Would you stick in the 1-2-2 against them?
From the previous matchups I've seen, it just depends on the lineup, right? Because you have all 5 of the people in the Liberty, they could pull out and shoot. It just depends on what the assignment is. But for the Aces, they could guard them straight up. They could guard them straight up, but I seen like there were some schemes where like the Aces would kind of be in like a matchup zone. Or like I've seen, it'll be like the first pass, it'll be like man, and then they'll drop into a zone. Like they just do so many different schemes.
Hey, Becky be coaching.
Yeah,
Becky really be coaching.
Yeah, but you have
crazy.
to. But you have to do that because the Liberty Vandersloot got a super high basketball IQ.
Right.
They all do. That starting 5. And they are good at taking advantage of your weak points. So. That's going to be more of like a chess match. Like, you really not going to know until you get there, I feel like, because they played them so many times.
Right. So, I mean, that'll be a crazy series. And then even, we could go ahead and throw it out. If the Sun make it, what does the Sun have to do to beat the Aces if they make it into the finals?
Go crazy on defense as far as, like, what they did to Minnesota. Like, Minnesota, they were trapping them on those screens. Mm-hmm. So, when the Aces set a screen, instead of hedging and letting the offense flow, you need to trap them in those sidelines, the high sidelines, and in the corners, and get steals. Because if you let them go off that screen, if you let them inexperienced bigs get sealed up by Asia Wilson or Akia Stokes, it's gonna be a long game. It's gonna be a long game. Your bigs are going to be in foul trouble, and then you're really going to be playing small. We're going to be looking like the Rockets when Tucker was the 5.
No, it's kind of tough because when I think about that matchup, I wonder if the Sun have enough offense to even match with the Aces at times.
They do. it's a key. Like the Aces have been beaten. They could be beaten. The Sun beat the Aces. I think they gave the Aces their first loss.
Right, they did.
And they attacked them. That's what a lot of teams didn't do at first. They were not attacking the Aces. And then the Liberty called on, let's attack them and let's mix up some defensive schemes. And that's why they were so successful against the Aces.
Those would be two very intriguing matchups.
Yeah, but like I said before in the last live, Suns in 5.
Suns in 5?
Sun in 5.
You really think they're going to come back and beat the Liberty?
Sun in 5.
They would have to do that in New York, right?
Sun in 5.
That's a bold prediction. I'm going to hold you to it, though.
Sun in 5. I said what I said. Like, I'm not that off with the predictions.
But do you not believe in Breanna Stewart? Like, she's healthy. Like, she's healthy as fuck.
No, I do. Don't get me wrong. I do. But something in my spirit, this is my spirit talking to me. Don't go against my spirit now. Something in my spirit telling me is the Sun are going to, they're going to make us believers.
They going to take it? Huh? They going to ruin our dream championship of the Liberty versus the Aces?
Whose dream championship?
That's my dream. Come on, dude.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Come on. It's like watching the Heat and the Lakers play with LeBron and Kobe.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We going to miss out on that because the Sun?
Okay.
Hey, you can't ruin that for us. Us casuals are waiting for something like that to happen.
You know I don't speak to the casual. I don't speak to the casual.
It's like watching Patrick Mahomes play Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. It's like, please, take all my money.
You got a point there, but I don't go against my spirit. Sun in 5.
I feel you.
I was trying to do a mic drop. You see when the mic shake, I was trying to.
I like it. It kind of did drop.
Yeah. Okay. Because we live, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
We're not about to do no other take for y'all. I just had to let y'all know.
And then we didn't talk about, I'm about to allude to it though, but the MVP, Breanna Stewart, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You don't think she'll win a championship with her MVP? She won Player of the Year, MVP. You think she'll get the full sweep?
If Alyssa Thomas is guarding her from the jump, next game, it's every point Breanna Stewart makes is going to be, she's going to work for every point. It's not going to be nothing easy. The only thing that would be an easy point is if the Liberty gets a rebound and she out cherry picking.
Sitting around.
Yeah. Because I like that Alyssa Thomas and Breanna Stewart matchup. Alyssa Thomas is going to body up. She not no little baby guard. And she don't fall for the little pump fakes. But the one thing Breanna Stewart, what she did to counteract that physical up in your body, being a smart offensive player she dipped her shoulder, right? Because if someone being physical on me, okay, I'm gonna dip my shoulder because what you gonna do? You're gonna close up, and you're gonna foul me every time on the contact.
She had to play a little tougher. She had to change her style up a little bit just because she playing a vet, really. Yeah,
and then it's like you got to think it's so much energy being guarded on, face guard, hounded the whole game.
Right.
So I need to see that. Coach Stephanie, I need to see that. I need to see Alyssa Thomas on Breanna Stewart from the jump. I don't need y'all to run no triangle two or nothing, but I just need better defensive schemes. I need DeWanna Bonner to be aggressive off the rip. I would challenge her to try to be the first person to score the basket in the game to get her going, get that confidence going, because there's no way as a player, a top player, you start shooting with 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Unacceptable. Yeah, it's a little too late to get it started. Yeah, and just the fact that Sabrina Ionescu, again, she had 11 points in the first quarter. And I counted, it was 2-3 she had, and she was wide open. Wide open. And it was like off a scramble, like the transition, of course, they found everybody, but if you know how they make that extra pass, why is no one not running out and trying to get a deflection? Like, they're long enough to where they could run out and at least try to tip the ball. Affected. Effort? You think it's effort? Sounds like it. Yeah. Effort, but it was just like more so frustration, because I feel like when you're down 37-16 going in the second quarter, it's kind of like a momentum shift. It's a momentum shift. Like, the Liberty had the momentum majority of the game. And then in the third quarter, they rallied a little bit, but it was just like I said, basketball's a game of runs. The Liberty had the most runs that game. Right. To the point where it was like the Sun was just playing catch up the whole time. But like I said, it's gonna be a good game on Sunday though. I'm tapped in.
Tapped in.
I need everybody to tap in because that's gonna be the only game that's on.
That's it. We all waiting on
crazy.
it. It's gonna be. Is it back in New York now, or is it?
I believe it's still in Connecticut. I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big game.
Oh,
They're very close to each other, so regionally, you gotta imagine it's gonna be sold out maybe.
Oh, it's crazy. And then all the UConn Huskies was in the building. It was like a UConn reunion. Yeah, Breonna Stewart, Olivia Nelson-Ododa, Tiffany Hayes. I feel like I'm missing a couple more, but they was thick.
I'm saying they all at the game.
They was thick out there. And Coach Gino.
Wow, and the OG was
and
there.
And the current players, yeah.
That dude probably like a mob boss out there, man.
Not a mob boss.
Gino, wow. That's good.
But yeah.
That's good. Anything more from the playoffs? WNBA playoffs? Anything you want to add? Have all the awards been announced? I think all of them, right?
I don't think Rookie of the Year is...
6? No, I don't think Roy has come out. Roy has not come out
Rookie
yet.
of the Year hasn't came out.
So who do you think? You were saying Jordan Horston?
Aaliyah Boston.
Oh, wow.
I said it episode
now.
Number. At first, listen.
Nah, you didn't say it's at first.
We're on live. I'm about to clear this. We're about to clear this. Hey, let me have the floor. Okay, so I was rooting for Diamond Miller. But my favorites, of course, Diamond Miller, Jordan Horton. Aaliyah Boston, I just had to see the game transition because she plays a more traditional style of basketball and the women's game is going positionless. So I just needed to see how that was going to work, and Aaliyah Boston just basically told me it's my world and you're living in it, and she was killing.
Nah, she went dumb. I think she got it sewed up. It's bad.
By a landslide. She won by 100 meters.
Nah, it's bad. There was a couple of chicks that were hooping that I did like this season, but like dominant force, Aaliyah Boston.
I believe it was the center off the Minnesota Lynx. Her name is not popping up in my head right now. She played at UConn. She did pretty good too. She had a pretty solid season as well. So yeah, it was a good rookie class. But I think Aaliyah Boston got Rookie of the Year. But I feel like I was right on almost everything else. Like I said before in the last live, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this.
I'm just sick Asia Wilson didn't win MVP.
Oh, I do got something to say. Did you know that they had her fourth in the MVP race?
Behind Arika?
No, I don't know who she was behind. She was fourth.
That's crazy.
Fourth. Now, I thought she would have been two. Remember I said it was going to be between...
Right. That's what I thought, yeah.
They had her fourth. Look, all I'm going to say is the commissioner fire the committee. Fire all them people that's voting, because why is she fourth? Why is Asia Wilson fourth? Are we hating? Like, what's the real reason? Like, what's the real reason? Like, fourth is crazy.
That's a little bit of haterade. And I don't even know what it's about, because the Aces was the number one team in the league the whole year. It's like, why would you look at her as the fourth best player if she was on the best team?
Come on now, like,
very weird.
Like, it's giving hater. Like, were you guys mad that she was the one at South Carolina and y'all just hating, or y'all mad that she just being her? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that.
And I haven't got into it, but do the writers vote or do the coaches and players vote?
I don't know, but whoever voted need their credentials snatched.
Right, that's bad.
Because that's unacceptable. Like, fourth row, like, come on.
All right, so here we go. Aaliyah Boston is the first rookie to get an MVP vote since Arika Gumawale in 2019.
Rookie of the Year.
They put an MVP mix. They like, you ain't even in the playoffs, but here you go.
Yeah. But think about it though, like, she was valuable to the Fever.
Yeah.
And just to piggyback on like this MVP battle, because I'm all these in these little sports group chats, and you know what I be killing them with? I be saying y'all be getting invaluable mixed up with popular. Ooh, that's a mic drop. I want to drop the mic. Oh my God, I want to say cue my tag, because that was a cue my tag moment. Because I feel like people do get that mixed up. Like, there's a difference between being valuable and popular.
Right. Big difference.
And it's giving casual. it's giving casual, like
Right, you can't even
you
tell.
know, and I'm not going back and forth with no casual. I'm not even going back and forth with you sports people for real.
All right.
Yeah, so
It's kind of tough, but yeah, Leah Boston, that's the one. I think CBS voted her as Rookie of the Year. WNBA hasn't voted it in yet, but she's pretty much like a shoe-in.
Aaliyah Boston Rookie of the Year.
I believe so. And then
I'm a believer.
everybody else was pretty much sold up. But Alicia Clark was Sixth Woman of the Year.
I caught that.
The Defensive Player of the Year, you did. Defensive Player of the Year.
Remember I had Jordan Canada, or I had Sykes.
Sykes.
I had Sykes.
Yeah.
And Coach of the Year, I had. Who did I have?
Man, I want to say you had Kurt Miller.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on, we on live. We on live. Why you do this? We on live. No, I didn't have Kurt. I didn't.
I don't think so.
I think I had Becky.
I think so. You was going with the Aces, yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. And MVP, I had Breonna Stewart. Come on now. But it was neck and neck. Like, I had Breonna Stewart winning by, 1 vote. Like, I didn't have those crazy numbers like how they did. Like, they disappointed me.
Going through these awards. I'll plug my mic in next time. But commissioners, no, it don't matter. Basketball Executive of the Year 2023, New York Liberty, Jonathan Kolb.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job. He put together a good team, right?
A good team, and I remember it was a couple weeks ago in our podcast chat. I think the mascot of the year should be Ellie. She be lit.
She is low-key lit. I can't front.
Listen,
she got it.
When she did the little kid performance.
Yeah, right.
I said, hey, she deserves the belt. She be outside. Yeah. She was in the little video with the little rappers that be running, the girls that be wearing the little elf ears.
Right, what? She was in it.
Oh my God, I said she's outside. Sparky, step it up.
I'm about to say, does Sparky even have a mascot?
Yeah, Sparky. That's the dog. The dog.
I didn't even see him. I was at the game. I didn't even see him.
Oh my.
Shame on him. But yeah, Executive of the Year, New York Liberty. I mean, I guess you pull off Breonna Stewart trade, you know.
Jacquel Jones. You brought Breonna Stewart and Jacquel Jones.
Yeah.
And Courtney Vandersloot.
Yeah, right. I think you deserve something.
And you brought in Coach Sandy because she was at Phoenix. She was with Phoenix.
Right. Made the whole team in 1 year.
Come on, chestnut checkers, man.
Wow. So yeah, Defensive Player of the Year, Asia Wilson, of course.
Yeah, this is her second back-to-back.
That's crazy. Sixth Woman of the Year, Alicia Clark.
I called that.
What else we got?
MIP, I called that. Satu, I called that.
Yep, Satu.
Yes,
MIP Most Improved.
Mm-hmm.
It was, a bunch of good awards. So.
Oh, yeah.
So Peak Performer, which is rebounding, Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah, for sure.
So she won the Rebounder of the Year. That's what that is for y'all.
Oh, yeah. She's average. She be averaging triple doubles. I think she put a quadruple double
off the boards, huh?
Yeah.
Off the board.
Oh my God. So that means she had points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Come on now.
Right.
And
pretty
she
crafty.
made the first team. And she made first team on defense.
She's pretty crafty.
A player.
So you said you wanted Brittany Sykes for Defensive Player of the Year. She made all defensive first team, and then also Jordan Canada made all defensive first team.
Shout out to the home team.
So pretty good picks, I must say.
What else I say? I'm not new to this. I am true to this. I felt like every team I done mentioned in the very first episode, they did what they were supposed to.
They hung around. The Mystics got booted a little early, but they hung around. Yeah, they hung around.
They dropped a lot. Remember they dropped? Yeah. They dropped from
They was top 4 and they got to 6, 7 for a little bit.
But remember what I said? It was one episode 2 where I said the 1, 2, and 3 wasn't going to change. It was that 4 through 9.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Come on now, I know this. They
gotta run the tapes back.
Run it back. We have to. I feel like
definitely gotta bring the reels back. All that stuff.
No, they don't want me to do that because I'm showing out. Cue my tag. I need a reel that tells how many times I said cue my tag. Because I probably just said that 20 times.
Facts.
But it's okay though.
But okay, things are just kind of changing. We can end. I think we kind of ended with this WNBA. I think the cover athlete for 2K is gonna be Sabrina Ionescu. We just saw
We
Breonna
talked
Stewart.
about that, man. Come on.
Right,
now.
but then part of that, Breonna Stewart just won MVP and she won Player of the Year.
Should have been Breonna Stewart and Asia Wilson. But I feel like Sabrina Ionescu, don't get me wrong, she's a great player. But I feel like since Kobe was on the cover of 2K and she had a good relationship with Kobe, that makes sense. And plus, she did a lot to bring eyes to the game. But the best player has to be on the cover. That's like having Madden and you have to pick between Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins.
Right, it's like
you're picking Pat Mahomes. I'm picking Pat.
Well, you call Sabrina Kirk Cousins?
No, I'm just saying like you got. It's obvious.
Okay,
It's obvious.
I see
Like
what you mean.
you got to do stuff that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like Sabrina didn't play. This is her first full season playing. Like she's been hurt. But like, and Asia Wilson has been dominant ever since she stepped into the W. Same thing with Breonna Stewart. They should have been. It should have honestly been Asia Wilson on the cover, or Breonna Stewart, not Sabrina. And I said what I said. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm not arguing. I'm not going back and forth for y'all. Especially some casuals that gotta Google up these names and Google up these numbers while going back and forth with me.
That's kind of tough.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it, man. We did it. Strong live.
We live.
How you want to end it? You want to just get out of here?